Okay, let's be real. Scientifically speaking, a lot of superpowers don't make a ton of sense. If the Flash could actually move that fast, it would kill him. If vibranium existed and the metal withstood some of the hits that we've seen it take, it would just never stop vibrating. If you have regenerative healing powers, you shouldn't be able to keep a tattoo, and will likely never get a time travel plot without some amount of plot holes. But of course, the story of superheroes told in the pages of our favorite mags are fictional, fantastical, and so we choose to suspend our disbelief in order to be taken along on a journey which allows us the superpower of escaping reality. If just for a short while. But still, even with suspension of disbelief, there are still moments and powers that seem so outlandish that we begin to ask how and why. And what is happening? Today, we'll be taking a look at some of the moments that have thrown us with our favorite, sexiest supers as we count down the top 10 hottest female superheroes' powers we don't understand. And on that note, let us get counting. Number 10, godlike abilities. Donna Troy's Wonder Girl has had so many retcons to her backstory, it's really hard to keep track. But for the sake of this point, I would like to focus on the specific one where she was an orphan, saved, and raised on New Cronus before having her mind wiped and being returned to Earth as a young teen. Donna realized she had superhuman abilities and decided to join up with another team, the Teen Titans. In fact, the name came from a memory that Donna had from her life before she was returned to Earth. You see, while Donna didn't know it, she was actually one of the Titan seeds, chosen by the goddess Rhea. What is really strange about her powers in this one is that there weren't more questions or concerns surrounding where they came from at the time. Of course, now we know what was up with that storyline, but also the origins of her powers have flip-flopped so many times, you might have even forgot this one yourself. I also just think it makes a lot more sense when her powers actually come from magic. Or like, she was also made out of clay. It just, like, then makes a lot more sense. Just a random orphan. Number 9, power cloning. Or mimicking, power copying? Hope Summers possesses the ability to adopt any other mutant's powers within a certain distance to her. She clones or mimics their powers and has access to those abilities when they are at their strongest. Pretty cool, right? But it gets even cooler. As far as we know, there is no real limit to how many powers Hope can take on at once. And even better, her powers don't work the same as Rogue's powers, in the sense that other mutants she takes powers from won't find their powers drained, and she does not have to make physical contact with them in order to mimic their powers. One of her few weaknesses, because, I mean, they had to give her something, or she'd be way too powerful to make her even writable, are time and distance. But what I've wondered is, what does this mean when Hope takes on the powers of a teleporter? Let's say she took on Nightcrawler's powers and she decided to travel to the moon. Could she do that? Would she make it all the way? Would her powers just conk out as soon as she got to, for example, the Brimstone dimension? How do these powers even work when she moves to another dimension? Is that far enough for them to stop working, or is that within range? There are a lot of unanswered questions. Would she even make it to the moon? Would she like get halfway there and then just like plop out of the air or something? All of these questions make me wonder exactly how the distance weakness applies exactly and what it means for Hope's insane mutant powers. Number 8, acid spit. Wait, what? Who is Acid Spit and is a super attractive female superhero? Why, Supergirl, of course. If you're not familiar with the storyline involving this one might throw you for a loop. After all, other Kryptonians like Superman can't spit acid, so what is up with this? Well, this power comes from a time when Supergirl was a Red Lantern, and it was through her power ring that she was granted this ability. So while you might not have understood this one before, hopefully that helps to explain it. Although, Supergirl as a Red Lantern to me is also a very strange idea, but it happened. Number 7, Canary Cry. Black Canary's Canary Cry is a confusing one because we've had so many different iterations of the character. Her Canary Cry has been a terrifying shriek that has been shown to destroy a building and possibly give someone brain damage. But then, as an alternative, it's also been shown as just like a simple distraction power. The power level fluctuates almost as much as the origins of the Black Canary character has. So, how powerful is the Canary Cry? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is it super powerful? Is it only a little powerful? Where are we on the power levels there? Number 6, TRICHOKINESIS. Medusa of the Inhumans possesses the power to control her hair with a psychic field. She controls each strand using her hair to bind, attack, or even lift. The strange thing? Her hair has been shown to be even stronger than she is herself. All I can think to really make sense of how ridiculous this seems is that she must have a very good hair care routine for her hair to be as strong as it is. It has always made me wonder as well if like it hurts if she breaks a strand of hair, or if it hurts to grow it, because I imagine it's gotta be thick. It's gotta be heavy too. Medusa has a lot of hair. How does she lift all that hair? How does her neck survive? Number 5, chaos magic. First of all, what really even is chaos magic? Who came up with this name? Also, these are no longer mutant powers that belong to Scarlet Witch. They allow her to alter reality and do all kinds of wacky stuff. Cause magic and cause comics. Magic is always a weird one to talk about because it never really needs to be as strongly defined as others. It's magic after all, so in a sense, almost anything can be possible. You can just be like, well, it's magic, so whatever. The most bizarre things about these powers and Scarlet Witch's character in general are the inconsistencies. In the MCU, her powers are nowhere near as powerful as in the comics, and her power levels even in the comics fluctuate all the time. Another inconsistency has been their origin, which has created some pretty big plot holes. Like, okay, so how did Hope use Scarlet Witch's power, or amplify Scarlet Witch's power, if you will, to help rid the world of the Phoenix Force if Scarlet Witch was never a mutant? Hope can only take mutant powers. Hope can only amplify mutant powers. So that doesn't make any sense anymore. Number 4, bad luck versus good luck, and probability. It's strange that comics even felt it necessary to grant Black Cat superpowers at all, but of course, as her name implies, she ended up getting bad luck powers added to her character, which caused those around her to experience bad luck. The weird thing is that shouldn't this then mean that because Black Cat's enemies have bad luck, she herself therefore has good luck? And therefore, that good luck should maybe help to eliminate the negative effects of the bad luck powers for the people that she cares for? But no, apparently your enemies having bad luck does not necessarily mean that you get good luck for you and your friends. You get good luck. No one else does. To be honest, the whole idea of probability as a power is confusing to me, and makes my head hurt just thinking about how much the world around you would actually have to be manipulated to make that superpower actually work. Although I will say, I do think luck is an awesome power to have, regardless of how illogical it seems to me at times. I just keep wondering when the mysterious stranger from Fallout is going to pop up and give Domino a hand in the comics. I always put a lot of luck into my characters when I'm playing on Fallout 4. When I create my characters, I put a lot into luck. I just think luck can be great. Also, do Black Cat and Domino's powers cancel each other out if they fight each other? Has this happened in the comics? Someone let me know. And if it hasn't happened, we need to make it happen with HeroClix. Number 3, phasing. Okay, so this one is less about the power being ridiculous, contradictory, or inconsistent because of writing. In other words, this non-understandable power is not really a why moment, but a how moment. Okay, well, it's kind of a why and a how. But it's coming from a place of mystery and actually really good writing, as opposed to some of the other powers mentioned on this list, which are kind of random. Captain Kate Pryde, as we know her now, or Kitty Pryde, or Shadow Cat, as we once knew her, has been struggling with her phasing powers lately in the comics. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for those of you who aren't caught up yet on the Marauders comics, so we're going to only talk about a mystery that is revealed in issue 1, talk about some stuff that happens sort of later, but I won't give anything away. And this mystery plot point that we're talking about is that Kate cannot enter Krakoa. Not just that she cannot use her powers, not just that, she can't even use her powers to phase through a gate, or any other organic Krakoan matter. The answer as to why hasn't been revealed yet, but many speculate this unexplainable power restriction could actually have to do with Kate not really being a mutant. Now, what do you think? Are Kate's powers possibly not mutant in origin anymore? Also, if you want, one of the other things I'm talking about happens in Marauders issue number 6, and I would encourage you to check out that issue of Marauders if you're into this whole mystery thing. Also, just read all of Marauders. It's really good. You should read it. If you like Kitty Pryde, if you like Storm, sorry, Kate Pryde. Number 2, invisible jet. So while it's actually a piece of equipment and not really an inherent superpower, Wonder Woman has a lot of extra items that are iconic for granting her additional abilities or additional powers, like her bracelets and her lasso. Her invisible jet is also one of those items. Of course, an invisible plane sounds like an amazing thing to have. It allows you to fly and grants you the ability to sneak up on your enemies, except that it really isn't as stealthy as you'd think, as the pilot of the jet can actually be seen through the invisible exterior of the ship, meaning that on a clear day, you'd be able to see Wonder Woman approaching you from miles away, just flying towards you in like a seated position. So, not really initially as cool as it sounds, I think. Number 1, mostly invulnerable. Despite Kara Zor-El being a sometimes Kryptonian, of course depending on the storyline that you're reading. We won't go into all the convoluted origins that Power Girl has had. So with Power Girl from Earth 2 being more often than not associated with Kryptonian physiology, as opposed to Atlantean, which grants her super strength when powered by a yellow sun, you would expect that she would be super durable as well. After all, super strength without durability, it doesn't make much sense, as performing feats of strength could leave you crippled. And, you know, Superman's also super durable. And of course, she is invulnerable. However, there was a time when all it took to beat Kara was sticks and stones. That's right, she was invulnerable except for unprocessed materials, which doesn't really make any sense. No matter her heritage in the storyline, any way you slice it, it's a pretty weird stipulation to put on that power. You're telling me that if I fire a bunch of big guns and torpedoes at her, it'll do nothing, but if I throw like a rock at her head, she's done for? What the heck? Of course, Power Girl is also one of those characters who's really just had a rough go when it comes to weird changes to her character like this one. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. What are some of the hottest and most illogically powered female superheroes that you can think of? Who do you think are some of the hottest and most illogically powered female superheroes? What are some of the most illogical powers that you can think of for our sexy superhero ladies? Which comic book powers do you think make the least sense and why? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to smash that sub on your way down there if you haven't already. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube. At least until I see you next. And then do it again till the next time. You know how we do.